Hi. Hello. Hello. So I'm on my laptop this morning, so I've changed direction, and so you're seeing the massive things behind me. But the light is very good this way, actually. I haven't got my camera light on at all. The window is providing enough light, so it makes it easier to get ready and set up. Less things to think about. So hi, welcome to the talk stream. So I try to do a live meeting every week. I can't say for definite it will be always at 10. It could be at 2, it could be at 10. So I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I'll always do something. If not a video, at the least. Yeah, I'll try to go live as well. So welcome. Full of Empty is the title. Full of Empty. Quite a funny title. Full of Empty. So wah wah wah. So most humans are not aware of this, aware of who they are. it's like they only know who they are as a human story. So if you speak to most people and ask them who are you, which is normal, they'll say their name or whatever, and they'll list all different things about them as a human. So their name, where they're from, where they were born, what their hobbies are, what their interests are, what they do for a job. That's usually a high up one. If they have children, if they have pets, have brothers or sisters, if their parents are alive, their romantic partners, what's happened to their partners, and their previous relationships, what problems they have, where they live. I said that already. That kind of thing. What car they drive, what foods they like to eat, what they don't like to eat, what kind of people they like and don't like, what's annoyed them this week, or what's upset them this week, or what they hope to do next week or tomorrow. So that's the kind of conversations people tend to have, which is obviously normal and okay. But what is being spoken about in non-duality, in these types of talks, is something else. It's something fundamental to existence, fundamental to everything. So before those other things appeared, before the ideas of who you are, your story, your job, your children, your friends, your home, your birthplace, before all those things came up and became part of your story, like what was there? What was there before all of that? So we have this birth certificate. I was born on July 31st at this time on a Thursday. I think it was like 8:30 something. I was born on Thursday. 1980. Yeah, I was born in Swansea. So before that stamp, that sheet of paper, like what what was there? What was there before that? Who was I before that? That's hardly ever the conversation people are having. Like, who are you before that? But to me, that's the most amazing conversation to have, the most amazing thing to be talking about. But you could also ask it in like, who are you in deep sleep? You can't really ask a corpse, who are you? You've died, but who are you? Because there'll be no response because the body's not alive or operating. So But we can ask about before birth, we can ask about deep sleep. We can ponder that. Not even ponder it, but we can point to that. Because of the pondering of it, you can ponder it as well, but what I mean is not pondering as in thinking about it isn't really the point. Like it's the pondering is like just the question of it. Like, who are you in deep sleep? Who was you before you were born? Like, such fundamental questions to be asking. Like, such fundamental questions. So funny. The obvious question, but yeah. So non-duality is pointing to that, pointing out that this movement, this seeming you, this seeming character, personality, story of someone isn't fundamentally who you are. That's a radical pointing. That's a radical, let's say, opening to something else beyond that story of you. Like a magicalness. There's a magicalness to it. That you aren't this limitation of a story in time. You aren't this person in time. Doesn't mean there isn't a person. It just means you aren't that. That isn't who you are. This sense of you isn't true. There is something else beyond that. I don't mean beyond as in far away behind somewhere. It can feel like that. We project heaven to be up there somewhere beyond, or emptiness to be somewhere beyond. But it's just trying to point to that person, that limitation, not being the full story, like a speck on a screen, like a character on a screen, an object moving, but it isn't the totality of the screen. What happens is there's an over identification that happens with that object, with that character, with that movement, and it feels as if that is who you are. You are someone. You exist as someone. And so what seems to happen in these talks, not just these talks, but in lots of different talks, different teachings, and Zen, I think is a teaching of some sort. I'm not really sure about Zen. I think it's quite a harsh kind of like I think of a stick. But yeah, in different, I'm sure different teachings and different talkings, are pointing to this. And what happens is that is in pointing to it, it's being pointed out, there seems to be a revealing of it. You could say that comes forward more, or that becomes more obvious, or more, it's more there, like the story of you, this limitation, this sense of being someone. becomes smaller or becomes not so dominant. Yeah, like it loses the energy, loses that focus on that person. Something else is revealed that isn't limited, that isn't a part of that seeming form. And I really feel like all teachings are pointing to that. Really, all teachings are pointing to that. All practices are pointing to that. Maybe not all, but a lot of them are. It's just that humans, or the mind, it interprets it in a dualistic manner. It's based upon me, based upon dualism, so it gets kind of corrupted and gets kind of misunderstood, and yeah, that's the way it is. Even with non-duality, it's going to happen. It's going to happen with non-duality as well. That's the way it is. So yeah. So there's this revealing of something else that isn't a thing. And that's what's been longed for. That is simply what is being longed for. This revelation or revealing of what we are, or of what this is, which isn't separate, isn't a form. It isn't belonging to a person. And then the human, the person functions. The character or the human or the person functions, appears in the same way the character in the movie still plays and functions. Still doing its thing. But it's no longer like it no longer has that energy in it as it had before. It no longer has that that contraction in it, that seeking in it, that looking for home in it. It's just that character, that appearance playing on the screen. So the death of the body is the death of that character, but it's not the death of what you are. The death of the character isn't the end of you. Like, it's the end of you as a character. It's the end of you as conditioning. It's the end of you as your storyline. If you have kids, I guess it gets carried on in the children, I suppose. The storyline gets carried on. The family line. The genetics. But it's not the end of you, or it's not the end of what you are. Beyond that appearance. The end of you is an impossibility. It's impossibility, the end of you. Energy cannot be, what did they say? Can't be produced, destroyed. I can't remember now what it was. Just many forms, many appearances. But no duality. No duality. So you're welcome to Skype in and speak and no, I've put on the chat, but I prefer if people call in through Skype to actually speak. Why is that? Why is that? Sorry. I just do. I just prefer to actually speak about this and have the seeming other speak. So there's this speaking happening, but like beyond that speaking happening, there's something else happening which isn't in the speaking. or isn't solely in the speaking. And I feel like if you're writing questions, I don't mind written questions, but if it's just written questions, I just feel like it's the head. It's just an intellectual thing where I'm reading a question out, trying to, I guess, interpret it, and then the response comes, but I just I don't know, it just doesn't feel as natural and as flowy or as authentic or as genuine or as real, if you like yeah, as opposed to humans speaking. Like it's a joint thing, if you like, a joint interaction, as opposed to um, just speaking here. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Yeah, I will. It doesn't make sense. Then it doesn't make sense. Excuse me. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, perfectly. Hi.
Nice. I need to turn off your stream.
Yeah.
I thought it was an echo, but it was just a stream.
Yeah.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Oyvid, isn't it?
Hi.
Oyvid.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, Oyvind. I've been lurking, watching you multiple times. I like the way you speak about this, and I thought of a question. With some say that this is complete. Complete in itself, I guess, or something like that. Would you say it's complete because it's unavoidable?
I'd say it's complete because it's complete. It's whole. Nothing is missing or lacking from it. It's whole.
Yeah, it's impossible to add or take away something.
Yeah, and like, who would do that? What separate thing could come in and take away or add something onto it? It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's only this illusion of separateness, this illusion of something being apart from everything else, and only with that then comes this idea of doership, I guess, or free will. I can then do something separate. It's all part of that illusion of there being something separate, and that's not the way it is. That's not a truth. It's just a dream that appears of that.
Is that dream conditioned to me then? Like, because when there is anxiety or fear or something, that then it seems like it's possible to add or take away something from the complete thing, from the completeness. But it's still just anxiety, fear.
Sorry, you're saying, is the anxiety or fear what? Sorry, is it?
Is the belief that means that there is something else than the completeness conditioned on top of the fear and anxiety?
It's like that illusion, that sense of being something separate takes ownership of everything. It takes ownership of emotions, of feelings, of thoughts, of everything, experience, and it thinks it's his or hers. It's it's experience. It's its feelings. It's its thoughts. It's its ideas, adding it onto itself. But actually, that's not true. It's not true. So yeah, it's all part of that same dream experience of being someone, of being separate, of being autonomous. But it's simply not true. And living in that, living as that autonomous entity, that sense of a person, is suffering. So it tries to escape that suffering by adding more things on, getting more knowledge, more things, more objects, better experiences, believing that will solve it, that will resolve this sense of incompleteness. But the sense of incompleteness isn't in that story of separateness. It can't be. So it's kind of like it's stuck in being what it is. It's stuck in its own illusion of separateness. It can't get out of that. What's being spoken about is beyond that dream illusion of separateness completely. It's totally outside of that dream. That dream only appears in this experience, in this as an experience, as a movement. But this is whole and complete. This isn't moving. This doesn't have a problem. This doesn't need to add things onto it or take things away from it. It's totally complete.
It's amazing, and in a sense, still there's like this. It still feels like it's cause and effect based for me, because
sorry, I didn't hear that.
Like
it feels like what? Sorry, I missed that word. It feels like.
It still feels like it cause and effect based.
Oh, cause and effect. Okay.
It's amazing what you're saying, but it still feels cause and effect based. As in, if I had called Kelly, then I would be nervous, or I would feel anxious, or I would feel excitement.
Yeah.
So the labeling of, so it still feels like there's cause and effect.
Yeah, yeah.
And that wouldn't be in line with the completeness then.
Yeah. There does seem to be this appearance of cause and effect. Yeah, there does seem to be that, but what's being spoken about isn't in that. So you could say there's cause and effect, seemingly, but what's being spoken about isn't in that. That's another part of that appearance. It's another part of functioning. So if I don't know, cut my finger off, it's going to hurt. That will cause that effect of pain, and that seems to be true. There is that appearance of that, but that's got nothing to do in a way. What's being spoken about here is beyond all of that. It's not relevant to what's being spoken about.
Yeah.
It's totally immaculate, totally untouchable. It's not to do with what seems to happen, what doesn't seem to happen. It's free.
Yes.
So it's like the mind tries to understand this in its own limitation of mind, of dualism. It tries to bring non-duality into dualism to understand it and fit it into its own understanding of reality, but it's not to do with that. The mind or the brain thoughts are dualistic. That's the way of the functioning of being a human, is to have dualistic thoughts, and that's part of the way it is. Hot and cold, up and down, left and right. We have that. But this has got nothing to do with that. And that's why it's free. It's free of that limitation.
Yes.
It's free of that choice. You can't choose wholeness. This is wholeness. You can't choose it. You can't choose to get out of it or be in it. It's just this already is that. That seeming choice appears as this appearance.
So that then it will include you had an interview recently. I can't remember his name, but I like his interviews, and there you said something about deepening, I guess.
Yeah.
And so this is also something that is just happening by itself then. And something that you just observe has happened since.
Okay. I wasn't sure what you meant, but it's just clicked on what you might be saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My native language.
No,
English, so.
no. It's not you. It's my brain can be a bit. Yeah, just interpreting words is difficult anyway. Like it's a.
Yeah, and I jump around too.
Oh,
So it's like I'm. It's almost like I think that others believe the context I'm talking from.
Oh,
in a
okay.
sense.
Yeah,
So,
it's so funny.
yeah.
So funny communicating and yeah, it's very funny.
Yes.
What were you saying? Okay.
Yeah. So the deepening is apparent then.
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah, definitely. Everything is like a seemingly or apparent. Like it's not truth. You can't find truth in form. So you can't find truth in words, in language, in stories. You can't find truth in it. The seeking's trying to find some kind of truth, some kind of answer, some kind of thing that it can then use to feel whole. But you can't find it in words, in anything, any form.
Yeah, so it's just you're just reporting your observation that there has been some deepening for you, and it doesn't prescribe anything. It doesn't say anything about what will happen here or anywhere else, or yeah, it's just.
I don't know what I said about deep. I remember saying deepening, but I can't remember what I was referring to now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, I can't like. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got nothing to do with. It's got nothing to do with what's being pointed to.
I guess like more like the like now I'm very anxious, and in a sense, if there were to be some more deepening later in life, then it would be less anxious because there's been some kind of more, like the body and mind has become more used to the completeness or something like that. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. It could
Doesn't
be.
matter.
It could be, but it could maybe you need to look at what the anxiety is as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Yes. That.
Yeah.
It was that I was thinking about, like looking at things or talking to or having some kind of psychological treatment or whatever.
Yeah, possibly.
Like the deepening you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like you can still, there will still human things could happen. There could be like trying to make the human more, or the body more comfortable, or not.
Yeah. I think that will naturally happen on its own. It's not someone's job to be trying to be yeah, I wouldn't prescribe it as a job.
Yes.
I think if it happens, then it happens. So if you feel uncomfortable or anxious or whatever thing you have, then there'll be a looking into that. If there is a looking into that, if there isn't, then there isn't.
Yes.
It's not relevant to freedom at all. But naturally, the body wants to feel better. It wants to be more happy and have more of an ease to its experience of being alive, a human.
Yes.
But yeah, it's got nothing to do with who you are, which is freedom. With or without anxiety, there's this freedom beyond that.
Yeah, even though it seems like it's an hindrance to freedom, but it isn't.
It isn't. No, it isn't. Yeah. Not to freedom. No. Never. It can't be. that doesn't mean that you can't address it and you can't ease that or deal with it, or. But in terms of freedom, no, it's irrelevant in terms of freedom.
It seems like it happens by itself. Even this call is in a sense.
Yeah.
Trying to, it's like jumping into the anxiety, or just there's a wish to communicate, but at the same time it kind of feels like something is blocking it, but it isn't.
Yeah. I feel like as this is revealed, like there's an ability more to hold all of that. So whatever's appearing, whatever emotional things appearing, or whatever's happening, there's more of an ability to not run away from that or avoid that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it wouldn't change anything in a sense.
It doesn't affect who you are.
Yeah.
Like you are that as well.
Yes.
Like you are all things.
Yeah. That doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. You are all things.
It doesn't need to make sense. It's the way it is. It doesn't need to make sense. It's the way it already is. There's nothing but what's happening. If anxiety is happening, anxiety is happening. That is not something separate. It's love or emptiness appearing as that, but not intellectualizing that, but actually it just seems to be revealed that this is everything. This is love. And maybe through conditioning, you've got used to running away from, let's say, anxiety or something, running away from it, being scared of it, closing off to it. But it seems to be a slow, like, oh, this is also it. This is also it. Like it can't hurt you. It can't really hurt what you are, which isn't a thing. And yet also all things, it is that. Yeah.
Yeah. There is like, I can in a sense see parts of it, but I can't phrase it. I wouldn't phrase it like you are at the moment, which is fine. There's not.
Yeah.
It's fine that I would say that I'm all things in a sense. But at the same time, it's nice to hear it for some reason.
Yeah. I don't mean walk around saying I'm all things. I'm all things. I'm not like trying to say that either. Just to clarify.
Yeah, no. Yes. Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Oh, thanks for calling in. Yeah, nice speaking with you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about calling multiple times, but some things haven't. aligned up.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
time I could do it. So
Oh,
it
lovely.
was nice.
Yeah, today was the day.
Today was the day.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Okay, nice speaking with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
My neighbours are playing music. Don't know whether you can hear it or not. Okay, maybe we end it on that after that call. So yeah, I'll try and do it again next Thursday. So yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Have a lovely week, and I shall see you then. Okay, bye.